What's up, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Gimme presented by BetMGM. Why the Gimme? You guys know why. Because it's good. Coming up this week, the RSM Classic, the last full field event on the 2021 calendar. PGA Tour season, of course, will continue in January with many, many events, but the last full field event of the entire year. I'm Jason Sobel. She's Amanda Rose. Justin Ray under the weather this week. He will be back with us, well, whenever we come back. Coming up, our perfect portfolios. We're going to make our ultimate DFS lineup. We're going to spin the betting wheel, give you some long shots, a lot to get to in this show. But first, Amanda, as they always do, BetMGM has let us come up with our own prop this week, the Gimme prop. You can actually bet on this. The prop this week, the tournament to be determined in a playoff this week at Sea Island. The last 3 times they've played this one, there's been that P word at the end. We're getting boosted odds to plus 400, 4-1 this week to have a playoff. What do you think? You going for it?
Yeah, I mean, playoff is not my favorite word that starts with P, but I do actually like the odds this week. I think it's a good one.
Earmuffs.
See, if Justin was here, he'd be like, ha ha ha, because he's like my fanboy. I love him. Miss you, Jay. I'm actually going to take that this week. Seaside course, it's an easy course, low scoring, especially when they get on that side. So, yeah, I think there could easily be a playoff this week. What do you think, Jason?
I'm not Justin as much as you.
Other J word.
I hate these bets. Look, I have no idea. I would rather put my money on something that I can strategize around. I can think my way around. At least if I lose, I know that I lost on something that I was specifically betting on. Maybe 2 guys or more will tie after 72 holes. I don't know. There's a lot that's going to happen between now and then. So I like the fact that they gave us the boosted odds. I like the fact there's been playoffs the last few years, but no, I'm not putting my money on that. I will save my money and put it on more worthy bets that are going to lose, like the one I'm going to tell you about in just a second. Top of the board this week at the RSM, BetMGM with some very nice odds. There's some bigger numbers at the top of this board than in some other books. So make sure you shop around. Scotty Scheffler, 14-1. He is your tournament favorite, coming off a couple of top fives. He now has, I believe it's double-digit top fives on the PGA Tour. Still looking for that first win. It could certainly happen this week. Webb Simpson with a couple of runner-up finishes and a third-place finish at this event in the past. He's 16-1. Cameron Smith, 18-1, played well on the weekend in Houston. Louis Oosthuizen, he's still looking for that first win on U.S. soil. Can you believe that? 20-1. Corey Connors, 25-1. And Russell Henley rounds out the top of this board at 28-1. Let's get to our perfect portfolios. You can see how Amanda and I did last week. Well, you see a lot of red on there. This needs a little explanation. Amanda, I don't know if you were watching at the end of it, but you and I both had top 10 tickets on Luke List. Well, Luke List was in a share of, I believe, 5th or 6th place going to the final hole. All right, we got this. Okay, missed the green on 18. No big deal. It's a chip. Yeah, we got that. Okay. Just got to get up and down, make a par. We got this. He hits a chip. Ooh, chunked it. Didn't get it to the green. Stayed on the side. He's got a chip on again. Okay, well, let's look it up and down for bogey. We're fine. Hits a really nice chip. Okay, now he's got 3-4 feet, maybe at most. All right, well, he's going to make this. Still cash the top 10 tickets. He's about to finish in 8th place. And then he missed it. And he finished in a share of 11th place. That, my friends, is what we call a bad beat. So, yeah, there's a lot of red on there from last week, but Luke List did not help us out, Amanda.
And you know what? And there are going to be people going, oh, well, how do you think he felt and he lost all the money? He still made a lot of money. You know what we made? Nada. So I don't feel that bad for Luke. He's got the looks. He's got the game. He'll do just fine. You're fine, sweetheart. You're fine.
Yeah. I don't blame anybody. Look, we're betting. This is the whole point of gambling. I put my hard-earned money on Luke List last week, and trust me, he was not trying to miss that putt or trying to finish outside the top 10. So that's what happens, but that's what we call a bad beat. All right, Amanda, give me some.
Golf's a 4-letter word. I mean, come on, it happens to the best of them.
So is bets. That's a 4-letter word.
That's a good
Give me some good ones for this week, Amanda. What do you got?
Yeah, so I got a couple guys. I got a quadruple of guys. Remember last time I tried to do that? Didn't work out. Quadruple might work. So Louis Oosthuizen, yeah, like we said, still looking for that first win on US soil. He comes into this event leading in strokes gained total. I mean, he doesn't miss cuts. He's playing some really solid golf. It's going to happen at some point. I mean, like, I'm sure, yes, it's a lot of fun making a lot of money, but like, if you don't have trophies, what are you going to put in your big house? Nothing. So, he's a win soon. Taylor Gooch, he's a really good player in the fall swing. I don't know what it is about him, but every year in the fall swing, it's just really good. He comes to this event coming off of a 5th at CJ Cup, 11th at Mayakoba. He was 23rd here in 2019. Actually hadn't made the cut in the other years he played, but I think this is a really good year for him here. Harris English, Georgia guy, lives and practices here, his coaches here. He's just been so consistent. He has a win already in the 2021 calendar year. So I like Harris English a lot this week. And lastly, Sky Scheffler, runner-up last week. He's gonna win soon. He's gonna start winning a lot. He's looking great right now, and it should be a good week for him because he's able to flight the ball really low in the wind, and we're gonna see a lot of wind on St. Simon's Island this week. So that kind of rounds out my group. They're, kind of lower odds guys, but I think they all could very easily play really well this week.
Look, conservative plays, but I want to make this point, Amanda, because we talk about this all the time. One of the keys to betting on golf is to know what kind of bettor you are. I mentioned this on the PGA Tour radio show that I host earlier today. If you're the kind of bettor that says, hey, I'm going to throw $20 out there, I'm going to have 4 $5 tickets on triple digit long shots, and I hope they win. And if they do, I'm going to have a nice sweat on Sunday. I'm going to, take the family out to dinner. I'm going to make something nice. If they don't, I lose $20, no big deal. If you're that type of bettor, that's great. If you're a bettor who just says, look, this is my hard-earned money, I hate losing, I'm going to bet, but I'm going to be very conservative with it. Those are some nice conservative plays right there, and I like it. It's 4 big-name players, 4 guys with lower odds, but to finish in the top 10, my guess is, Amanda, you hit at least 2 of those, if not 3, potentially all 4. That's asking a lot.
I like that.
I think you get some green on that board the next time we do the show. All right, I'm going to start out mine with a top 10 on Corey Connors. I think that you look at the top of the board, and all these guys have a high ceiling. They're really good players. They essentially have a chance of winning every time they tee it up. Corey Connors still stuck on the winning odometer with 1, but I think he's going to add to that in the not too distant future. But I think Connors' floor is a little bit higher than most other players up near the top. Essentially, he plays well every single week. That's what happens when you have a guy who's really good tee to green. If his putter is cold, I still think he can make the cut and play decent. If his putter is warm, he's finishing top 20. And if his putter is just a little bit hot at times, he's a guy that can contend for a title. So I'm taking him top 10. Another top 10, Chris Kirk is a guy that feels very comfortable at Sea Island, won this event in 2014, a couple other top 10 finishes. Back at the Sony Open in January, when he finished in a share of second place, retained his PGA Tour playing privileges. I thought back then, he's going to win an event. He's got the burden lifted from his shoulders of trying to keep his card. He's going to win in 2021. Well, he's got one last shot at it. Hopefully it's this week.
You know who he has on the bag this week? You know who he has on the bag? He has Will McKenzie on the bag, resurrected. Perfect. Will McKenzie on the bag for Chris Kirk. It's an automatic win.
Will's one of my favorite guys. I was there in Maui at the tournament at Kapalua years ago when Will started playing well and accidentally gave out his room number at the Ritz-Carlton on live TV on Golf Channel and started getting calls that night. And unlike any other player who would go, I need to change rooms, I need to cut off the phone service, we'll just start answering the phone and go, hey, what's going on? And he told me the next day, he's like, yeah, some guy from Wisconsin called and said, hey, good luck this week. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it, man. Like, he just talked to him. Will McKenzie's the absolute best. Anyway, we digress. I'm taking a top 20 on Denny McCarthy, who on Sunday in Houston, I always think the final round statistics tend to carry over to the next week. On Sunday in Houston, Denny McCarthy gained more than 3 strokes on the field around the greens, gained nearly 3 strokes on the greens. That's a whole lot of short game goodness. He's already known as one of the best putters on the PGA Tour. Unlike Connors, he's sort of the opposite of Connors. If he just hits the ball pretty well, I think that putter is going to take him through to a contention this week. And another top 20 on Matthew Neesmith. He's played this event twice before. He's got a 14th place and a 15th place finish. This should feel right at home for a guy who plays his best golf on short courses in the Southeast. This should be right up his alley. Speaking of these courses at Sea Island, we've got 2 of them over the first 2 days. The Seaside course is a par 70. Plantation course is a par 72. They both measure just a notch over 7,000 yards. So certainly not long courses whatsoever. You look at some of the winners over the last handful of years, guys like Robert Streb and Tyler Duncan. These are not long ball hitters whatsoever. So precision and accuracy is more of what it's all about. Let's get to our ultimate DFS lineup. We do it every week on the Links and Locks podcast. You can find that at Golf Bet and the Action Network. Download, subscribe, rate, and listen to us every week. You can also find our models, tools, optimizers on Fantasy Labs. Great stuff that the guys do over there. All right, Amanda, first pick. Where are you going?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Scottish Scheffler. I know I already picked him, but we got to pick one of the top guys in the field this week in the DFS lineup. And I just really like him. I think his ball striking is great for this week. You don't need to overpower this golf course. I know he's a long hitter, but I think that he can really control it in the wind. So I like Scotty Scheffler a lot this week. And I think he's, riding that momentum. Like he's going to start winning, and he's going to start winning a lot.
High end value there. And I think maybe in this week's type of field, a lot of people look at other players near the top of Webb Simpson or Louis Oosthuizen and say, you know what, I'm not going to take the guy who's the most expensive. I'll go a little bit lower. So maybe that suppresses ownership on Scheffler just a little bit. All right, I'm going to go with my first pick, a guy that he's my favorite outright this week. I didn't put him in my perfect portfolio for a reason I'll tell you in a second, but Brandon Grace plays really well on shorter coastal golf courses. Won 5 years ago at Harbor Town, won earlier this year at Puerto Rico. Since then, he's played really well. He's got 4 top 7 finishes since that victory. Got into a playoff at the Wyndham. Again, another little correlation there to what we'll see at Sea Island this week. The only problem, he tweeted over the weekend that he's dealing with a condition where he's got some inflammation of the cartilage in his ribs and his breastbone. I looked it up. I went through WebMD. Basically, what it says, Amanda, is this could either linger for a while or it could just magically go away at some point. So I don't know. I have not spoken to Mr. Grace in the last couple of days, but hopefully he is feeling much better than he did over the weekend.
Yeah. And speaking of Brendan Grace, he's someone that I kind of correlate a little bit with Louis Oosthuizen. Like if there's a week where Louis Oosthuizen is playing really well, you kind of see that they'll both play well around the same places. So I do like that pick a lot. Another guy who's good in the wind is Lanto Griffin. 2 top 10s in his last 2 starts. He's still a really good price, and he's going to be low owned. He's someone that no one's really paying attention to. He likes this event. So I think Lanto's a really good value play.
That's solid. I'm going to go back to my Corey Connors play again for the same reason that I picked him for a top 10 earlier. He's got a very high floor. He tends to show up week in, week out. You go back and look, I believe it's 5 of his last 8 starts have been inside the top 20. So this is a guy that, again, he just never really shows up and doesn't have it. He's either really got it or he's kind of got it. And that's enough for me in a DFS lineup where I can fill in the blanks with other guys who might be more risky plays. So, all right. Your last pick, Amanda.
Yeah. Russell Knox, like I said, another guy really good in the wind. His last 2 starts haven't been great since Bermuda, but like I said, he's good in the wind. This is the most similar probably wind conditions that he's had since Bermuda playing. So I think this could be a really good week for him. He's another guy that really likes this event. So I like Russell Knox. I think that good play is going to, come back soon.
Much like Brandon Grace, when I see Russell Knox in a lineup, I say, let the wind blow.
Yes.
He is one of my all-win teams. My all-win team essentially is Russell Knox, Brandon Grace, Andrew Landry, Mark Leishman. Who do you have?
I was going to say Rahm or maybe Ben Coles.
One of those 2, sure. Okay, 2 totally different players. Yes, sure.
Sorry, I think we cut out. I don't know, because you went blank for a little bit, but it's fine as long as
it was just a blank expression from me.
Okay.
All right, I've got a little under 8,000 left to spend. I'm going to spend all of it. Brian Harman is a guy that I think is traditionally undervalued in the marketplace, whether it's betting, whether it's DFS. He's not getting enough love from the people who make these numbers. Harman, not a great record at Sea Island, certainly not as good as I would have thought. 2 top 10s in 9 career starts, but I've been waiting for him to pop for a while. He's a fiery dude. He's a bulldog. We're going to talk about bulldogs in a minute. And Harman is a guy that I think wants to get one under his belt, a real good finish before this season starts. Not that everyone else doesn't, but I can see Harman really sort of treating this one like more of a business trip than a nice, relaxing week on Sea Island. All right, that's our lineup. Scheffler, Grace, Griffin, Connors, Knox, Harmon, ship it. All right, time to spin the betting wheel as we always do. Speaking of Bulldogs, there are 11 University of Georgia players in the field this week.
See what I'm wearing because of this segment?
What's that?
See what I had to wear because of this segment?
Is that a Samford shirt?
It's rude.
You deserved it.
Fine.
All right. Speaking of UGA, I know they play a lot of defense at Georgia. These guys are going to need to play some offense this week. You're going to need to make some birdies at Sea Island. So we've got Harris English, Russell Henley, Chris Kirk, Kevin Kisner, Brian Harmon, Brendan Todd, the top 6 dogs on the board this week. Super producer Barbara Alberts, are you ready to spin this wheel for us, please?
Absolutely.
All right. Fingers crossed. Come on. Give me a good one.
All right. Our first player is Harris English. Jason, why don't you go ahead and tell us your thoughts on Harris English this week?
All right. On my card right here, did all my prep work. I've got buy, sell. Only one sell on the card. I was going to buy any of the other 5 players that you had given me, Barbara, but I am selling Harris English. Has not played his best golf since losing in Memphis when he really looked like he had control of that golf tournament, the WGC, back in August, even going through the Ryder Cup. Just hasn't looked his best. His only top 10 finish at Sea Island, despite living there, despite playing so much golf there, was last year, which I chalk up more as a precursor to what a great season he had last season and less about maybe he's figured something out on this golf course. For me, at his price right now, Harris English is a sell, and he's really one of the only sells among these Georgia golfers.
All right.
Wow.
Amanda, you're up next.
Yeah, I was totally kidding about everything I said in my perfect portfolio. Actually, no. When good old Hanky Boy finishes whatever top 10, you'll see, Jason. You'll
Hanky
see.
Boy.
Hanky Boy
is what we're calling. Oh, okay.
Good old Hanky Boy. Wait, have I? No, wait, I haven't even gotten the person yet. Go ahead. Sorry,
Nope,
Barbara.
you are talking about Kevin Kisner.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna buy Kevin Kisner. There's some stat I saw about him like over the last few years. He leads something or other at this event. So yeah, I like Kevin Kisner. I mean, he did pull out of the Barstool Classic to play in this event. So he has a big tournament that he had to pull out for this tournament. So I think Kevin Kisner could play well. I mean, if he's pulling out of a drinking fest for a playing golf fest, I think.
I think he was probably always playing here. Runner up here last year, lost in playoff. What has he led here over the last few years? Was it like a strokes gained approach, putting, something?
I don't know.
Something. He led something here over the last few years, Barbara. So,
but no, the Barstool thing was that's a joke, guys. That's a joke.
It was. It
wasn't a very good one, but yeah, no, buy Kevin Kisner.
All right, buy Kisner. I believe the entire world is buying Kisner. Barbara, thank you so much. We're going to try to move this train along and jump off.
Embarrassing.
1 minute left, Amanda. We're going to get you out of here soon. Give me a long shot.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kevin Tway. I mean, he's not as much of a long shot this week, I guess, as last week. Still a long shot, though. But, I mean, he played so well last week in Houston. I think his time is coming. This is a really good event for him. I think his ball striking is good for this course. He's a long hitter, so he doesn't have to use his length the whole way around. So I like Kevin Tway a lot this week.
Speaking of the all-win team, he's another guy on my all-win team. Oklahoma guy, plays well when it starts to blow. And it's supposed to, maybe not Thursday as much, but starting on Friday, we're going to get maybe a 2-club gust come through the area. Okay, I'm going to take Davis Thompson, another of those UGA guys who's getting a start this week in a place where he lives now. His dad, Todd, is the tournament director of the RSM Classic. Wonder how he got into the field. No, I'm just kidding. No, he's two-time first-team All-America at Georgia. This guy's an up-and-comer. He's really, really good. Had him on Hitting the Green, our PGA Tour radio show earlier this week, and sounds confident. He knows this golf course as well as any of the other guys that live in Sea Island. So good luck to him this week. He's a big number too. So maybe a shot at a top 10, top 20 type bet. Thanks to everybody out there for watching this edition of the Gimme presented by BetMGM. Remember, check out Golf Bet for all our coverage on the RSM Classic this week every other week. For Amanda Rose, I'm Jason Sobel. Get well, Justin Ray. He'll be back soon. Good luck with all your bets for this week's RSM Classic. Here's hoping you guys hit the green.